This is Andy Purwell for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Matt Macklin. Matt, we're obviously out here in New York ahead of Saturday night where Anthony Joshua defends his world title stateside for the first time against Andy Ruiz Jr. First and foremost, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Enjoying being back in New York. I was only over here the other week with the Brazil Wilder fight. Big knockout there for Wilder, so he made a statement. Now I think everyone's expecting and hoping for a statement from Joshua.
How are you finding the flying at the minute? We obviously see Eddie getting about a lot, but you yourself have been flying around quite a bit to and from the UK.
Yeah, I've done over the last few years. I've chalked up the air miles all right. Yeah, knocks you about sleeping pattern wise and that. But look, that boxing's a global sport now, and great to be a part of it.
Obviously, we are here for Saturday night when AJ defends those world titles. What are your thoughts on the fight against Andy Ruiz Jr.?
I think it's unfortunate that the Gerald Miller fight fell apart because I thought, he was undefeated. He was a brash talking New Yorker. He was 20-odd, 21, 22 stone, whatever. I think he was durable. I think he'd have put the pressure on Joshua to try to walk him down. He wasn't going to try and outbox him. So I think it was all the circumstances very disappointing. But I think all said and done, Andy Ruiz is a solid replacement. He's a good. He's had 6 weeks' notice. He's only a few weeks before that, so he'd have been in good shape anyway. He's a good fighter. I remember Andy Ruiz, I met him back in 2010 when I was training out in Los Angeles at the Wildcard Gym, and I remember seeing him. I went running with him in the morning, and Jose Benavides and a couple others, and then when he was sparring on the night, he's not the most athletic looking, and he's very baby faced back then, especially. And I remember I can't remember who it was he was sparring, but I remember it was someone decent. I remember thinking, God, he's going to get his head punched off. But he didn't. Surprisingly good fighter, good head movement, nice rhythm, good body puncher. He was good. I was impressed by him. Look, Anthony Joshua, undefeated heavyweight world champion. I think he'll be too good for Ruiz. I think he'll probably stop him. But I think that the point I'm trying to say is Ruiz is a good fighter. The whole thing's been a bit of a disappointment because of the Gerald Miller thing, but Ruiz definitely is a top 10 guy. He's not a top 5 guy, but he's a fringe contender.
What would you say the biggest differences are between Andy Ruiz Jr. and Gerald Miller?
Well, Miller was big, physical, an arm puncher. Not as naturally. He's not a natural boxer like Andy Ruiz. Not as skillful. Not as doesn't have the same kind of rhythm, but he was a big guy. He was I think 300 pound, whatever that is in stone. I think 22 stone or something. So because of that, he posed a different problem than what Ruiz does. But Ruiz is a better skilled, better boxing IQ than what Gerald Miller is.
Now, you mentioned that Deontay Wilder knockout against Dominic Breazeale at the beginning of the interview. How much more of an impact is that going to have on AJ's mindset and the fact that he's going to possibly want to emulate that type of devastating performance?
Look, he'll definitely want to emulate it. He'll want to make a statement himself. Whether it happens in the same first round or anything like that, who knows? But he'll want to put on a devastating performance, as you do always. Really, every time you go in the ring, you want to win, and we want to put on a good performance. But he'll probably feel a bit of an added pressure to do that. Obviously, his team will be trying to say, forget about that. Just focus on getting the win, focus on the game plan, focus on the tactics that we've set out. Don't be trying to go out there looking for the knockout, because most of the time you go looking for the knockout, you start forcing it, you start loading up, you start telegraphing your shots, and it doesn't end up happening that way. You start getting hit with shots, and you feel you're annoyed with yourself because you didn't box well, and it's one of the oldest mistakes in the book that we make. But so I think it's crucial that he, even though that's there, and that'll be fueling him, and he'll want to make an impression, make a statement. I think it's important that he doesn't try and force things, doesn't try and look for it too much. It's important that he doesn't go in there and try and get the knockout. I think he needs to just go about his job the way he normally does. Get your jab going, take the centre of the ring. If he starts backing Ruiz up, he's the taller guy behind the jab. Ruiz is going to have to try and cover the canvas, trying to break that distance. I think Joshua walks him onto right uppercuts all night long. Short right hand, left hooks combination as he tries to slip and come inside. So, I think it's important, Joshua, just focus on, getting your jab going, and then let everything flow after that. If you start loading up looking for the knockout, you'll probably underperform. I still think he'll win, but it could be scrappy and he could be annoyed with his performance. So, but I think in the press and the boxing media, they're all looking for Joshua to go out and make a statement. They're looking for a devastating performance, of course.
Now, as we mentioned, Wilder, yesterday he announced over social media that he's going to fight in Luis Ortiz in a rematch. What are your thoughts to the fact that he's announced that fight instead of looking to make a fight against AJ or Tyson Fury rematch?
Well, he's only just fought, so the fact that they've gone straight into an Ortiz fight, I mean, it's great in a sense from his point of view that he's being busy and he's staying active, and he's gone into another. It's a proper fight, Ortiz. Ortiz had him rocking in March when they fought. So, last March, I think. Yeah. So it's But look, from if you're really serious about wanting the Joshua fight, you wouldn't be rushing to announce another fight so quickly after just boxing. You know what I mean? I don't think you'd certainly wait and see what happened on Saturday night, and then you'd allow a certain time period for negotiations to see if the fight could get made. So the fact that he's jumped straight into the Ortiz fight kind of says he doesn't really want the fight anytime soon. Now anytime soon does he want it after Ortiz? I don't know. I don't know. It's a difficult situation to point the finger on who exactly, why, what, because there was a time when I felt that Wilder probably wanted it more than Joshua's. The Wilder's team wanted it more than Joshua's team when they were coming with the 50 million. But is it brinksmanship? Is it one-upmanship in negotiations? You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of politics there. There's a lot of egos involved, different networks. It's a complicated situation, really. I think it'll come down to the fighters basically taking control of their own destiny and saying, listen, I want that fight. I don't want to hear about another fight. I just want it about the Joshua fight to get done. Joshua, I just want the Wilder fight to get done. Don't give me dates. Don't give me TV networks and venues. Make the fight happen. I think it could come down to that.
I just picked up on a point there where you said that Wilder may not want to face Fury and maybe not want to face AJ as one of the top contenders in the division. Having said that, I spoke to Ben Davison a couple of weeks ago before Billy Joe Saunders fought, and he said that he feels Wilder was psychologically damaged on the back of the Fury fight. Do you think maybe that's running through Deontay's mind, that maybe he isn't able to challenge one of the other top contenders, i.e. AJ or Tyson Fury, before as soon as we would like to?
I don't think so, because he's fighting Luis Ortiz, who's a top contender. And who he had a tough fight with previously. So I don't know. I don't think it's Wilder. I think it's probably people that are managing and promoting. Al Heyman, Shelley Finkel, Showtime, whatever. I think it's more that, and I think he does what he's advised to do. And listen, you're paying people to advise you and guide your career. You've got to listen to their advice, but I think there's a lot more to it. There's a lot of things going on in the background. I think Wilder probably wants the fight. I don't think it's Wilder that doesn't want the fight with Joshua. I think it's probably more his team that are probably playing a bigger game. While they've got the heavyweight champion, they can do all the fights. They're keeping things in house. It's about control, I think.
This will naturally have a bad impact in terms of the reaction to whoever AJ fights next, because obviously everyone wants to see AJ Wilder or AJ Fury. The likelihood that AJ Fury won't happen and then AJ Wilder obviously isn't, it means that only Dillian Whyte will possibly create the type of attention that would limit any type of criticism that AJ could receive. Do you think that's a fair comment, that only realistically AJ Whyte next for Anthony is a fight which would at least get the public interest back up and not allow him to receive as much criticism, even though everybody will know now that Wilder's announced the fight prior to any negotiations with AJ?
Well, I think Tyson Fury should have got the decision against Wilder. After that, he's signed with Top Rank, and they're a serious outfit, and they've got their plan, and it's probably a 3-fight plan, and they probably want to get him over here, get him busy, get 2-3 quick fights on ESPN, build his profile, and they're probably not interested in anything until that's done. So that's what they're doing with him. Wilder's fighting Luis Ortiz now. Joshua's fighting Ruiz. They're like kind of generally considered, well, they're the top 3 heavyweights. So really, I think the only fight then that becomes a big fight that sells is Dillian Whyte, because almost from a process of elimination of the other guys. You know what I mean? It's if you're going to go the top 5 heavyweights, you're probably going to go Fury, AJ, Wilder. They're the top 3. You're going to have Dillian Whyte, Luis Ortiz. That's probably the top 5. So if Fury's out the equation, Wilder's fighting Luis Ortiz. There's only Dillian Whyte really left for Joshua to fight. So I think most likely the next fight for Joshua will be Dillian Whyte, October, November, maybe in Cardiff.
What are your thoughts on Fury Schwartz, just whilst we're on the heavyweights? What are your thoughts on that one?
I don't think it's a great fight, but you know what? Fury had a massive layoff, came out of it after 2 glorified spars, really, put in that unbelievable performance against Wilder where he should have got the decision. Has done a great deal with Top Rank and ESPN on the back of that. So, you know what? Schwartz is he a top guy? Not really, but look, it's his first fight. He's touching down in America. They're promoters. They're going to build him, and it takes a couple of fights. He's got a good ranking, I think, with the WBO. So, look, I think he can be. He's allowed one. He's allowed. We can't look from the media and the fans want the best fights. It just doesn't happen like that. Fights have to be built, and fighters have to be built, and their profile has to be built. It takes time. It takes fights. So Fury fighting Schwartz, the fight doesn't do anything for me as a fan, but I'm glad. It's good to see that Fury's. I'm glad that he's with Top Rank. I'm glad that he's fighting on ESPN. I think he's a great move for him. I think they'll really boost his profile. He's fighting in Vegas. He's a massive personality. So, as busy and the most active he can be, and the more they keep building him, when these fights do happen, they'll be bigger.
Now, to loop back to this card, as we've just obviously gone on about the entire heavyweight division, Callum Smith defending his world title for the first time. Hassan N'Dam, someone who is very much seen as a big underdog. Very much, everyone's just expecting Callum to kind of walk over him, especially because of a natural size difference. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I think Hassan N'Dam was a lovely boxer about 5 years ago. I think I was meant to fight him a couple of times myself. Real nice boxer. Bit chinny. Chinny goes down. Gets hurt. But lovely boxer. 5 years ago at middleweight. So, look, I think it's on paper it's a softish defence for Callum. He should win in devastating fashion. Yeah, that's it really.
Who would you like to see Callum in next? 3 names which keep coming up for me are either Canelo, Golovkin or Billy Joe Saunders. If you could choose one of those 3, who would it be and why?
Look, I think probably Canelo. You know what I mean? It's he's the number 1 superstar in boxing, isn't he? And he did go up and he tested the waters up at super middle. He fought Rocky Fielding. Canelo's achieved everything there is to achieve. He's at the money. It's like so. I think he's the kind of guy that probably wants another challenge. Look, the Golovkin trilogy for Canelo definitely should be there. I think Golovkin deserves that 3rd fight. I think I thought he got robbed in the first fight. I had him nicking the second one, but absolutely fine with the decision because Canelo, whatever way, it was one of those fights, very close fight. So I think they need a trilogy there. But Callum Smith against Canelo would be brilliant. Failing that, Callum Smith against Golovkin would be brilliant. Billy Joe against Callum would be great as well. They're all good fights.
Katie Taylor looking to unify the lightweight division, the women's lightweight division, I should say. Your thoughts on her career so far and the rapid progress she's had towards Delphine Persoon and this bout?
Well, look, she's just destined for greatness and always has been. She's probably, on what she's achieved, she's probably Ireland's best ever sports person. She's her consistency at top level, 2-time Olympian, gold medalist, unified world champion, going for the undisputed Ring Magazine belt in this fight. She's one in a million. You know what I mean? You look, if you're a sports fan, you're lucky when someone like Katie Taylor comes along because that's someone that you know, she's a legend in her own lifetime, in her own career time, and I think it's a tough fight against Pursoon. She's awkward, she's big, she's strong, but I don't know. I think Katie's one of those special talents.
And Tommy Coyle, Chris Algieri is a fight which everybody is expecting to be a war. Is that how you see it going?
In terms of action, fan-friendly, maybe being a bit of a battle or a war, I think that could be a fight. Algieri, nice boxer, has been in a couple of battles himself. So I think Tommy Coyle can box nicely, but he can get sucked in and dragged into a fight. And I don't know if he can outbox Algieri. So I think that could come down to, out of all the cards, I think that's the one that could probably be the most sort of thrilling, most action, knockdowns, that kind of thing.
Well, Matt Macklin, I've taken up enough of your time. So as always, thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, thanks.